Well, good morning. It rained during the night, as you can probably see, but it's supposed to clear up pretty soon. Hasn't been raining for the last hour. Feeling a bit, not rough, but you know, I had a couple of drinks in the hostel last night. I'm feeling a little bit like, not much though, as I said. Ooh, traffic. So I'm gonna head down and get breakfast now. The girl that was staying in the hostel from Taiwan had a picture up on Instagram yesterday of this morning set that she got with a nice toast and coffee. So I'm just gonna head down. It's only around the corner from where I'm staying. Then I'm gonna head off to a little area just outside of Fukuoka city called Itoshima. It's supposed to be nice, so we'll see if it is. Let's get breakfast. Well, wasn't that just a cute little place, huh? Real old-fashioned Showa era kind of Japanese breakfast cafe. Really nice. Although, I say really nice, it was very simple. It was toast, lump of butter, boiled egg, and coffee. But that's the first, no, it's not the first time, but it's the first time since I've been back on this trip that I've had the thick square bread. Oh, so nice, especially like first thing in the morning. I'm not a breakfast fan, but I could go for that. That was called Ichinoki. That was the name of the, or Ichinoko. Either way, that was the name of the little cafe. If you're in Fukuoka, highly recommend it, just for the atmosphere alone. Yeah, great start to the day. The only thing is, it's starting to rain now, and according to my phone, it's going to be raining for the next hour, just under an hour, 45 minutes or so. So I think I'm going to head back to the hostel, just chill out there for a few, and then I'm going to get a train. So I will catch you when it stops raining, if it stops raining. I never usually have much luck with weather on these trips. And I've just been making my way down towards the train station, all along the river here, and I just came across a lovely little shrine. Let's check it out. Nice, isn't it? Anyway, I had to pick up a bottle of Pocari Sweat because I feel a bit dehydrated. So, whenever you're dehydrated in Japan, pick up a bottle of this. Works wonders. Honestly, it's like a miracle drug. I will also need to pay a visit to Don Quixote before I leave here, because they sell contact lenses. And it's just way easier than having glasses on, and you don't have to like wipe them when they get dirty and stuff, so it's the only reason I want them. Well, hello there. Had to rent a bike. Got to the train station and realised it was a public holiday, and the bus timetable is, well, let's just say it's not great on a public holiday. It's not much better on a regular weekday, but it's certainly a lot worse on a public holiday. But I'm cycling along this beautiful half countryside, and I have to keep going until I get to this beautiful looking torii gate way up north in Itoshima. And well, I'm hoping that the weather stays okay, because it does say that there's a chance of rain. I guess when you're at the coast, there's always a chance of rain, isn't there? So while I'm here spending my time on my squeaky bike, cycling through the Japanese countryside, might as well give you a little rundown on Itoshima, the area that I'm in. So it only took me about half an hour, 40 minutes to get here. Had to stay on the same train. It changes line number, but it's the same train, you don't get off. Anyway, so Itoshima is actually one of the oldest mentioned places in historical Japanese texts. Yeah, pretty cool. So it was like a cultural melting pot, because it was, for most of the time, it was the first point that people from China or people from Korea would reach when they came to Japan. So of course, that brings a lot of cultural influence and culinary influence as well. I've seen it around already. There's a lot of places that have Korean flags, like in the restaurant windows. There's Chinese restaurants. Of course, it's still got the Japanese restaurant as well. But it's just a place where some foods have been altered, kind of shake it up a little bit. It's quite interesting, and you're going around. It's a lovely, quiet place. I was like shocked when I got off the train, came down to the main street. Obviously, it's a public holiday, so you would think it would be a bit more busy. You know, people have free time. The public holiday, by the way, is the autumn equinox. So yeah, you'd think like people have a bit of free time. Japanese people don't get an awful lot of public holidays throughout the year, so you think people would be out enjoying themselves. I'm sure they are, but they're not doing it in Itoshima, or else they're down where I'm going. Maybe that's what it is. I'm going down to this very impressive torii gate. It's a Shinto gate that's been built right at the ocean, facing over towards Korea, and it's got like this lovely view behind it of two rocks. I think it's called the Marriage Rocks. There's two rocks behind it that have got this linking chain behind the view of the torii gate. So I hope you can hear me with the squeak out of this bike. I always get a squeaky bike, always. You know, usually I'd be a bit apprehensive renting a bike when I go to a different country. I wouldn't even bloody cycle in Ireland. It's not built for it, you know, the cycle culture is not there. But I knew from past experience of cycling in Japan that the drivers are very accommodating for cyclists. I've given credit for that. Very, very accommodating. They will always give way to the cyclist. They won't beep. They won't rev their engines to try to put a bit of pressure on you. And also, these lanes, although they're small, the cars are also... Oh, there you are. The cars are also small and boxy, so they don't take up much room in the lanes. So even if you think like, oh, these cars are going to be right beside me, I'll have to be careful up at the side of the road here. Nah, you're all good. These cars are tiny. But I've got a lovely view here when you're cycling around. You've got lovely mountains. Where I'm going is past that mountain, as far as I know, just around it. I'm not going over it, thankfully. I don't have an e-bike. But look at this lovely view ahead of me. And to my side, like, come on. Weather is perfect. It's not too hot right now. A bit of a wind, very, very light wind, but wind nonetheless. Yeah, I'm enjoying this cycle. So it cost me 2,000 yen to rent the bike. Now that's pricey, obviously, on its own, but 1,000 yen of that is a deposit. So, you know, I'll get that back. So 1,000 yen for renting the bike. I only rented it at 12
p.m. midday. They do open at I think 8:30, but the all-day cost is just a one-off fee of 1,000, no matter how many hours of the day you're gonna keep it. So I think that's pretty reasonable. I can't really complain too much about that. The only thing I can complain about is a few bumps on the road here. But yeah, the guy was nice, very nice guy. He was an older guy. He had a little bit of English, but yeah, he was nice and asking me about Ireland. And yeah, you know, I like those small little interactions with local people. He was asking me how I found out about Itoshima and if I'd come back again, and I said, well, I really can't tell you that because that's my first time here. You know, I literally just got off the train and checked the buses and realised they weren't going, and then came to the bike rental shop. And I was talking to another guy. He was also at the train station. He came over to me and said, "Are you going to the place that I'm going?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "But if I can't figure out a bus, I'm going to Jesus, getting attacked by flying creatures." Yeah, he said, you know, you can go back to Fukuoka city and then you can get a bus directly to there. And I didn't even know about that earlier. If that was the case, I would have done it. But I was thinking, you know, I'm this far out already. I've got nothing else to do. I mean, I've nothing planned. It's not that there's nothing to do. Just have nothing planned. So I said, you know, I'll get a bike. He was going to actually get a taxi then to a certain point and then get a bus. But I said, no, I don't want to get in a taxi. I'm travelling around, you know, give me a bike, give me a set of wheels, and I'm very happy with that. Now I just stopped my bike. I'm almost where I need to be, but I just looked down one of the turns and check this out. Sorry about the wheel squeaking, but isn't that cool? I don't know if there's anything past it. Well, a few cars, but I know this place is also popular for surfing. We'll just have a little look over at the beach area. Jesus, tell you, it doesn't feel like I'm in Japan. That's for sure. Oh, it's a cafe. Maybe on the way back I'll get something there. Isn't that just gorgeous? Honestly, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. People surfing, having a great time. That's what I mean when you're down at the beach. Although I'm not a lover of the ocean, and being in the ocean, I love looking at it. But it's just incredible that everybody's so happy when they're down at like a beach or the seaside. Kind of brings out great humour. But like, imagine like this place now. Like compared to what, 10 minutes ago, I was basically in the middle of nowhere in the countryside. It just changed completely when I came through. Like there was like a little opening past these bushes where the road kind of separated into two, and when I come out onto the right side, luckily, just come out and this view is in front of me. Beautiful. I'm gonna make my way up there because straight up ahead is what I want to see. Here we are, the Futamigaura Shrine. Oh, this is great. Look at that view. I know there's a good few people here, but what do you expect? Now you see the two rocks over there in the distance, yeah? Well, each of them is supposed to represent a Japanese deity. And the Shimenawa between them is supposed to show the connection between those two gods. Isn't that some view, honestly? Look at that, isn't that incredible? Gorgeous day. Oh, couldn't ask for better conditions. I left my bike up there, so I hope it's still there. It will be, it's Japan. But yeah, this is incredible. One of the big draws at Itoshima. Now, wasn't that lovely? Unfortunately, I couldn't spend too much time there, just simply because when you're queuing up, I was able to get them to take a photo for me, the people, which is fine, but you're kind of constantly moving because, well, you don't want to be taking up too much time. Everyone's trying to get photos at it, you know, so I was just able to stand around, look, and I showed you a bit on the video, and I was just able to kind of just, you know, take it all in. A really nice experience, and it's also a nice cycle past that point. I don't know where I am. Hideout Cafe. Pretty cool. Cafe looks quite nice, I have to say. I might what's in here? Nishinora base. Oh, I think this is like a campsite or something like that. It looks like one. Food Truck USA. Huh. I don't know. So I've just come into another part here where there's a few piers that stretch out, so I'm going to walk up a little bit. I think these are fishing over on the pier, which would make sense, and that's what you do on the pier, right? But I'm going to just see if I can head over. The problem is with the bike, I don't really know where to put it, you know? I don't want to just lock it up to a annual fence or side railing, but I could just leave it, I think, and just sit it against the wall. Nobody's gonna take it. That's the good thing about Japan. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It's a lovely little place to cycle through, you know. It's very little, like a quaint little town. A couple of overflown boats there. I want to get myself a little drink. I was just going to get a grape drink, but this cola looks quite interesting. It must be like a Japanese brand, Daido. Well, they make these vending machines. Damn. No, I've got to try the cola. Let's try it out. Look at that. Oh, interesting. So I'm just sitting down now on my bike, gonna sample this cola. I've just opened it, but look at the view that I'm blessed with here. Look at that, out into the water, mountains in the background. You know, it's weird. Honestly, if I'd have just cut from where I was cycling through that farmland in the countryside part when I got my bike, and if I just cut to where I was out at the hut there, at the going past the cafes and stuff like that, you'd think I cut to a different country, took a flight somewhere. It's mad how quickly it just changes dramatically. No wonder they call this area Fukuoka's Bali, kind of makes sense because when you get out here, it is like you're in a different country. Anyway, this is ice cold, which is fantastic. Now it's after getting hot outside. I said earlier on that it's not so hot, but now it's getting it, believe me. So, bottoms up. Ah, lovely. Oh, really refreshing. You know, it's kind of like, you know, Cool Pops, the little frozen ice pops. You get them, they're liquid, and you put them in the freezer and they freeze. It's like the cola flavour of that one. Oh yeah, it's just refreshing on a day like this. The sugar, I needed it after all the cycling. And you're gonna start cycling back a little bit and around through the little village here again, just to get another glimpse of kind of little regular life around here in Itoshima. Let's enjoy this first though.
They spin but don't come down like sparks in it.
So I went into the little burger place, got myself a hamburger. Saw it on Google Maps that it's pretty popular for burgers, so I said, you know what? Why not get something while I'm here? There aren't many other options on the route. There's cafes and stuff, but this lovely little bench that's been made. I don't even think my left cheek will fit on it, but you know what? It's the best I've got while I have my little hamburger, so I'll take this. Oh Jesus. So decided to go into that little burger place. Looked on Google Maps and just checking around to see what options there were, and there was mostly cafes, so I said look, it's the best option for another while and I'm getting hungry after all the cycling, so why not just go in and get a hamburger. It's a really cool little place inside. The lady that worked there was really nice. And then I walked down a little bit here and decided I'll eat it here with this beautiful beach right in front of me. You know, Itoshima is not just for relaxing, although it seems like it. I mean, it's like Bali in Japan. But on weekends, or today is a public holiday, on a Tuesday, you know, a lot of people come out here for water sports. So I see people out surfing in the distance, paddling boards, all this kind of stuff. It's really cool. The only thing is, it's bringing out all the tourists down to that shrine, so I can't spend really much time walking around. I'll end up cycling by, and I hope I'm just happening to get a lucky break where there's no tourists there, but it's not going to happen. But look, I'm happy with this view that I've got here. I can't really complain, you know. It's not a spectacular corner of the beach. The better beach is down there, but this is the only one that had somewhere I could sit down and eat. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. Catch you in a minute. Well, there we go. This is the burger. Ooh. 800 yen. Damn, it's big. Jesus. So yeah, I'm gonna tuck into this now. So you know what's funny? When I was down that way at the famous torii gate that all the tourists were at, I bumped into the guy from the train station. He was behind me in the queue for getting the photo taken. He made it anyway. He got a bus, or 2 buses. So at least he got here. But yeah, it's crazy. He just tapped my shoulder and said, "Oh, you made it." And I said, "Oh wait, it's you." He's from Luxembourg actually. Turns out I thought he was French. Yeah, nice guy. Look at that view though, isn't that stunning? It really feels like you're on Hawaii or something. Now, I've never been to Hawaii, but at least that's what I imagine it looks like. I've seen TV shows. Make my way up to my bike. Is it still there? Yes. When you're cycling along this route, it's actually called Cycle Route 1. There's something about all of the little quirky cafes. You know, they all have a little bit of charm, a little bit of personality. They all have weird artsy styles, you know what I mean? Just, yeah, there's something about them, I don't know. Like even this little place up on my left, it's a hamburger place as well actually. Oh my goodness it's called, but like, look. You know, there's some charm about it, isn't there? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I think everybody could appreciate that. And it makes you just want to, like, if you're in a cafe that looks like that, you know, it kind of just makes you want to sit back, sip on your coffee, look out these beautiful beach views that they've got here and just kind of let time go by. Ah, God, the Japanese countryside. Fantastic. One of the things that I find really crazy is that Kyushu is one of the least visited places in Japan, which is hard to believe, like when you're going around and you see something like this. You know, this is really like, how are more people not coming here? At least international people. It's popular with Japanese tourists, of course, but still, like, there's so much here to see and just chill. So of course, up in this part of Itoshima, all over this side past these trees is just beach all along. We'll see it when we go up further. But they've got a load of, like, look at this paragliding school, surf shops, Aloha Cafe. Everything is kind of themed around Hawaii and surfing. It's pretty cool. Shrimp. You can see, like, this kind of stuff, like pizza stands. Hold on, we'll get up a bit more. We're about to come up to the sea. Now, look at this. It goes on for ages, all the way up to where that bit of land sticks out at the top. The beach just stretches up and up and up. Isn't that crazy? It loops around. Let me stop here. Yeah, so it goes all the way up, all the way around. And then on the opposite side of that there's a famous beach as well that, well, apparently it's very crowded. But I mean, there's people out doing water sports, you can understand why. This is really the prime location. Especially if you, like, you think about it, you're 30 minutes away from Fukuoka city. You know, like the busy, typical working city. You go 30 minutes outside that, and you've got this basically in your back garden. You know, that's a great feeling to have. At least you know, like, if you're having a shitty day in the city, you know, you're stuck in work, stuck in all these buildings, shopping centres everywhere. You know, it does get a bit claustrophobic. And then you can just hop on a tram, drive, cycle, whatever, out somewhere like this. But you know, like is the case with most people when they live somewhere, hold on, let me get started. It's hard to kind of appreciate it when you know, it's just part of your normal life. This is nothing special. If the people were born in Fukuoka, this is just normal for them. They're like, oh yeah, okay, the beach, okay, yeah, big deal. Let's just go out and do some surfing and that's it. But like, when you don't have access to something like this in your back garden, then you can, I think, appreciate it a bit more. Another cool little cafe here. And there's another one up ahead. Wait till you check this one out. Isn't that pretty cool? Another one over there, the school bus. And that's a cafe as well. Like, you can just go in and grab a bit of food or a coffee. There's another bus on the opposite side of this. London Bus Cafe. See? They even have this cool little ice cream place. Blue Seal ice cream. Look at that view you would get up there, looking out over the sea. Got a nice cold ice cream. Probably very nice. Unfortunately, I'm not in the mood for an ice cream right now, but you know, it doesn't matter. The point is, if you were here and you wanted an ice cream, you could just get one there with a great view. But I mean, there's so many like quirky little cafes around here, and restaurants and ice cream shops, you know, like this. You know, the place is just so colourful. Yeah, so colourful. Like, honestly, I'm delighted I came out here. It's great that the staff gave me this recommendation, because like, not that I wouldn't have known what to do, but it's nice to have some, in the sense of a local's information, because they're the ones that live here. They kind of know what people do. They know what the must-see things are. I know sometimes it's actually difficult to think of things when you're living somewhere. You know, you're like, well, I don't really know what there is to do because I live here and it's just part of the normal life. But yeah, just took what they said. Just said, yeah, I'll go with it. Just tell me where to go and I'll do it. So they said, yeah, Itoshima. And I said, okay, great. I'm going there tomorrow. And I'm very, very happy that I have come here. I guess it's about time I start making my way down this direction, back to where I came from. Itoshima city, town. And return this bike. Still have my trash from my burger. Isn't that typical Japan? So yeah, that's the plan for now. I might catch it in that city. I will catch it in that city when I'm back and returned. See how long I have to wait for a train. Oh, here's my call. My green man. You know, while I've been cycling past all these little plots of land and little farms, it just brought back something to me that I'd read about Itoshima. I didn't really know. Itoshima is very, very famous in Japan, or at least in Kyushu, for its produce, the quality of its produce, their fruit and veg. And if restaurants or cafes or other little eateries are using ingredients from Itoshima, they will proudly display it. They will have a sign up saying like, this food was made using ingredients from Itoshima. I guess the climate's probably better here than in other regions, I'm not sure. But just a little interesting fact. You know, I never knew that about here. And you probably didn't either. But now you do, and now I do. So we both win. Oh, up a ramp. Well, we're back in Fukuoka. That was quite a fun day. Really enjoyed getting that bike and going for that cycle. Views were fantastic. Honestly, couldn't have asked for better weather, really. Actually, no, it's not true. I got sunburned. I have a pink nose. I saw it in the toilet of the subway station when I got off the train. So yeah, that's today finished with. Just gonna go back, get a bit of food and rest. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.